What's happening, everybody, and welcome on into another beautiful, wonderful edition of the Put It in the Book show, season 7, episode number 16. As this season rolls along, nice day today, Rodriguez. How's it hanging down there, buddy?
You get creepy on me.
Sorry, down
Keith.
there.
I'm not Keith.
You're here, there.
Yeah, everything.
There.
Mets are in second place in the division after the start and after somebody named Michael Barons from Atlanta telling me that they suck and they're going to eat and all that nonsense. But guess what, Casper, the friendly ghost, the unfriendly ghost? You're underneath us. Sit on that. Let's go, Mets.
Sit on it. All right. I hear some noises that come from,
the walls. Yeah, a little fat rat running around.
Oof.
Actually, no running done by him, but scurrying.
Scurry?
He can't scurry.
I can scurry. I can scurry. I'll show you scurrying you never saw before. I'm the best scurrier in the world. I'll scurry all over this show. You watch.
The problem is, after he scurries, he's got to scurry to the emergency room.
You do that every week. You scurry all over the show. That's the problem, but you'll be fine.
All right. Keith is on his way, so we will become the tripod that we are in just a few moments. We're going to talk Mets, this road trip. We're a little bit more than halfway through so far, 4-3. Not too bad, not too shabby, with another city to go on this god-awful road trip that we got going on.
Why is it awful? It's a great road trip.
Talking about the mileage back and forth. We're in it, yeah. It's so far so good.
The Cardinals thing was weird. That's the
Cardinals things was weird going back.
Yeah,
it's thank you, MLB. What else we're gonna talk about? We'll talk about Pete. The awkward, like, how do you ask that type of a question of a guy? Anyway, we'll talk about his response to a really awkward interview question, and then how he responded with the bat today was even more important. So let's get this show on the road. Producer Joe, kick us off.
Put up the buttons.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Let's kick it off really quick here with a little cheers, a toast to nobody from our team, somebody that we respect, and this is a very serious thing. Freddie Freeman's kid out of the hospital. After that,
okay.
I cannot remember the name of the thing, but it literally paralyzes you for X amount of days, and that what was going on with Freddie Freeman's 4-year-old kid.
Oh,
but
cheers!
He's back in the lineup.
For the kid's health and hopefully fast recovery.
Mm-hmm.
So, palsy? Is that palsy? Or something?
I really don't remember the name of it. It was yeah. I'm sure producer Joe knows it off the top of his head. I'm sure he knew of it before it had been discussed.
What about Freeman's kid?
Max.
His name is Max.
Max. No, about the what's the name of the
illness.
What happened to him? I can't remember the name of it. Christopher says beer time. Yeah, come on in, drink some beer with us, talk some Mets.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and and I hated to hear it. It's like nails down a chalkboard. But when they talked about how Bryce Harper reached out to Freddie Freeman almost daily, I don't want to like the guy. I don't want to hear anything nice about this guy, but whatever.
Listen, at the
If
end
you
of
watch,
the day, they're both douches. Okay. At the
by
end
the
of
way,
day.
if you watched any bit of last week's episode, you will have heard a little bit of a love fest, not from me, but from the other guy, the part of the tripod that's missing right now, for Bryce Harper and how great he is and all this stuff. But he put like a little hex on him. He did not come out of the break well.
Yeah.
All right,
that's what
let's
Yeah,
get into the New York Mets.
Yeah, let's stop using the term tripod. All right, let's stop.
Yeah, I
it.
don't like it either.
Yeah, you know
Why?
what? It makes me uncomfortable. It reminds
does.
me of Austin Powers and Mini Me. You know, let's stop that. Let's stop that. Okay.
Yeah, let's stop it. Yeah, producer Joe, good job.
Thank you.
Producing on the fly. Very, very, very well done.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right, let's get to the Mets. let's get to the Mets. Open up the road trip against the Angels. Hated it. Lost 2 out of 3. We'll skip over that.
No, don't skip over it. Don't skip over that. 'cause
I know
we
we're
have-
not going to. I wanted
we
to.
have to be a better team than that, dude. We have to be a team that takes teams like the Angels and beats them. Especially if we put ourselves in playoff contention, we have to beat those guys, or at least take the series from them. We had all 3 games where one game we won, and the other 2 were winnable. So we have to step up a little bigger and don't let chances like that go away, because if we played the Angels the way we should have played them, we'd be up a game and a half, or maybe 2 games up in Atlanta right now.
Right, missed opportunities. We talk about it in the chat. Missed opportunities. So on my part, the way the Mets played in LA, there was no reason to believe that they were gonna get up for a game going back east to play the Cardinals. What was it, 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock start their time?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. So,
Yeah,
but surprisingly,
it was rough. They came through, dude.
Mendoza had the boys riled up, ready to go.
They have been stepping up, and I know we can't win every game, and when we don't win a game, people get DFA'd, and the team doesn't step up, and all hell's breaking loose. But guess what? They've been really good for a while. So the fact that they came back and took the game from St. Louis after that bad series loss, it gave me hope that they got themselves into playoff contention, and they're actually going to do something and make some noise, or make themselves be seen as not just a schmucky little team. I mean, Arizona proved it last year.
Yes.
I mean, it could happen. So we're the second place New York Mets, and I try not to be too proud of saying second place in our division, but I'm really proud that they're in second place, man.
Did the Phillies play today?
Yeah, they won, I think.
Oh, they won. All right.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
One notch at a time, dude. One notch at a time.
Whatever.
Hopefully, somebody can give them a little.
Hey, but who would have thought that the Mets would be 7.5 games behind the Phillies during that May swoon?
Dude,
The Braves, baby.
I was expecting to be in last place. To be honest, the way they were playing, I did not see them coming up out of it. You know, thank God that we have those guys in WFAN, all those hopeful guys, those 2 hopeful guys that are so positive that they wish the Mets into contention.
WFA douche.
WFA douche. I like that.
All right. So you get the Cardinals game, whooped up on them pretty well, and then here comes the letdown game. The Colorado, start that series off scoring 2 runs in Colorado, and it was just like, what is going on? The inconsistencies back. Who started that first game? That was Severino.
Severino, yeah.
And I mean, he pitched okay for a Colorado game, but not what we've come to expect over those last 4 starts.
What are you expecting from him? I'm begging and hoping and pleading that he's a high level 2 right now when he comes when it's his turn to pitch. So at level 2, he'll be great. But our number 1, as you saw, is down hurt. He's not coming back till the end of September. So our true number 1 is sitting out there waiting. But Severino just has to step it up just a little bit more of a notch in those type of games, and true. There's no clear number 1 on our team. Everyone is like a 3 or a 4, right? If you're really looking at starting pitching, they're like number 3 starters, number 4 starters, number 5 starters. There's no dominant guy that is going to shut down the other team. So a couple of guys have to pitch above their pay grade, and keep us in the playoff contention.
Yeah, I mean that
today's pitcher's doing it, and I'm surprised to say that.
Mania.
There's
Manaya's not. Dude, listen. If you're counting on Manaya as your ace, you have a lot. You're begging.
I mean, he's pitching like it. If you had to point out one guy,
he's pitching well, but he's not that guy.
I was responding to you saying some guys have to step up and play above their pay grade. Do you remember saying that 2 minutes ago?
Yes. Why wouldn't I remember?
And that's Manaya.
Oh, so if you would have said, well, Steve, I think Manaya is responding, and you would have given us a clear sentence instead of chirping.
Yeah, you know what? Steve's having difficulty. Steve's having technical difficulties. He'll be back with us in a minute.
That's it. Listen.
Oh, dang. Wait, put me off again. I'll be right back.
He was busy. Let's talk about the Manaya being one of only 2 other Mets in history to go. What was it? 7 innings or more with double-digit strikeouts in back-to-back games. Who are the other 2? Tom Seaver.
Say Seaver and
Gooden, yeah.
So listen, don't say he's pitching all right or whatever you said.
He is pitching. He is pitching.
His last.
He intimated that I was suggesting that he's our ace, and I was not. I was simply replying to the fact that we need guys to step up, and he has done so in superb fashion.
Superb. Dom, see, we got stats coming from Dom. In his last 10 starts, he's got a 2.28 ERA. Listen.
Okay, great.
It's our ace is cyclical right now. It's ever changing.
Which means we don't have one.
Okay. Hey, whoever's the ace at the time, this week, next week, whatever
There you go. Every pitcher has the chance to be the ace for that game that he's pitching.
Yeah, that's well said, Rodriguez. Well
Manaya.
said.
Manaya.
That's got to be a clip somewhere. We got to pull that. All right. So you follow that up with last night's game. Lindor coming through with another clutch hit with the bases loaded. They tack on another run. They win the game 5-3. Today, Peterson gave us his first time ever. He's from there. I didn't realize that until.
Yeah, I thought only Nimmo was from there. I know for a fact that Nimmo was there, but I didn't know Peterson.
Isn't Nimmo from Wyoming somewhere? I thought.
I thought he was from Colorado. I thought he was.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Peterson.
Same state.
He said
we don't care.
Like hundreds of family members and everything was there, so it was a little added pressure for him and pitching in Colorado. And listen, the Mets staff pitched well. Colorado staff in 3 games got 8 2/3 innings out of their starters total in 3 games.
New MLB, love it. We just rocked them. That's all. Hurt their butt feeling.
I see what you did there. We rocked them. Very well done. Very well done. All right. Listen to me. In the locker room yesterday, the day before, they were going around and
tell me what to do.
Nope. Listen, when you have AirPods on, you're listening to me even more closely when you do that.
Even worse.
Now we're not going to listen to him, huh? How do you feel about that? What do you think? Don't tell us what to do. Don't tell us what to do.
Sorry.
We got the Wizard of Oz here, man. The old grand Who
Why
got a
not?
wizard guy? He can do
He
what
was
he
bald,
wants.
wasn't he? Was he?
Wizard was not bald.
No, he wasn't bald. Wyoming, says Dom. All right. So locker room, they were interviewing Pete about what was going on, and then they asked him, which I think I'm in the locker room. How do you even look at this guy and say that to him? It's just so media. All right. Let's roll that little clip and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
Numbers are not quite where they usually are. Just is there anything you can put a finger on of why you haven't fully been able to come around, do you think?
I mean, I think I'm in a position where, I mean, I'm on pace for close to 40 homers. I'm an all-star, so I think, or I was an all-star this year, so I think that, I mean, to beat myself up or be frustrated, it's really no use, and I'm really excited for the end of the year where we get to play winning baseball. So I'm really excited. I'm happy with what I've accomplished this year so far, and I think that there's definitely going to be some opportunities that I'm looking forward to capitalizing on.
Welcome back.
Pete. Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
How you
Keith,
doing?
what's up, sir? Perfect timing. We're going to talk about Pete
Welcome.
and his response to that reporter. First off, just give my thoughts. I didn't see any issue with what he said, but upon going into the comments on that video, they were killing Pete Alonso in those comments. Mets fans, whatever. But they were all over him about you stole the All-Star spot. You're hanging on to that, but you didn't really deserve it. You're on pace for your lowest home run total. It's your walk season. What are you doing? I think he responded to that question. That stupid question. Like, what are you doing? It's for clicks, and we just gave him. But
For clicks and giggles?
For clicks and giggles. But at that point, you're just pressing this guy. Pete looked like he was holding back some anger. Like, what kind of question is that, dude? But anyway, wanted to get your thoughts. Not only how he responded in the interview, but obviously we'll all be in agreement with how he responded with the bat today. So Keith, kick us off with that. What are your thoughts on his response, saying I'm an all-star, I'm on pace for 40, and don't beat myself up?
Yeah, I have a little problem, but that's only a me problem with him saying I'm an all-star, because I think there's other people on the team who deserve it more than him. But he's right. He was an all-star. And hands down, let's face it, there's not many other first basemen in all of baseball that I'd rather have than Pete Alonso. So just because the guy has slow starts or what, I mean, listen, a slow start and you're still averaging potentially, well, after today it's different, but potentially 35 to 40 home runs. Shoot, I'll take it any day of the week. I think people need to chill out with him a little bit. He's still not having a bad season. He's got 60 something RBIs, I believe. I know he had a big game today, but and I was working over some quick highlights. But I don't have a problem with his response at all. I think his response was factual, and I think that he composed himself fairly well, because he could have just lost his shit, so to speak. I have no issue with Pete or his response. I do take some issue with some of the fans and the stupidity surrounding what caused this situation. But other than that, no problem with Pete at all.
All right, Rodriguez, what are your thoughts?
I think he's got 63 RBIs. But here's the thing. Ask him a question. It's just a question. He could say, I'm not going to comment on that, or I'm not going to answer it, or he's going to answer it. And the thing that you want from a captain, from a guy that's in your organization, is that he's accountable for his play, and that he's accountable to the press. So when they ask him a question and he answers properly, he did. He told them, this is what factually, this is what it is. I'm an all-star. I'm still on pace for 35 to 40 home runs. And he's playing really, really, really good defense that no one says a lot about. I mean, this kid, he stretches like unbelievable for a big guy like that. He scoops the ball. He
gives me a heart attack every time.
He's got a dirty uniform, but the guy is trying to play an all-around game, and at the end of the year, we'll see what he really is. But I don't have a problem with somebody asking a tough question. Pete's making almost $20 million a year, dude. I mean, if you guys don't think he can answer a tough question for $20 million, then we need to get rid of him. But I'm saying he makes the money, he's in the limelight, he wants to be the captain, he wants to be the man, and I love him. I think he's a true man. So I'm fine with whatever they ask him, as long as they don't curse out his mother or anything like that, you know. As long as I don't have to hear him try to speak Spanish again, you know, then I'm okay. Because I heard him try to speak Spanish, and I was like, oh, Pete, let it go. Let it go.
Yeah,
okay.
I thought it was a dumb question, not a tough question. Producer Joe, what about you?
Yeah, I wanted to jump in. I love Pete. We all love Pete. We all want Pete to be a Met for life. He's in. Why he's had his numbers off this year, who knows? Could be any one of a dozen reasons. The pressure of a contract year, something could be hurting him. Who knows? But the one problem I did have with his response is, after all the controversy with him going to the game, with the fact that he was chosen above other teammates that are having a much better year. And he was essentially chosen just to be in the home run derby. He knows it. Everybody knows it. And for him to use that as part of his defense, that was, that was silly, Pete. You shouldn't have brought that up. You could have just said, I'm on pace for 40. A team's in wild card contention. What do you want to do? But he shouldn't have brought up the All-Star thing, in my opinion. That I think was what most people rubbed them the wrong way in the comments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with the All-Star break thing too. But I just wanted to point out that as soon as Joe started talking, Rodriguez and Farace started drinking. Like, what happened there?
Really? Let me try it again.
The minute you started talking, they both picked up their drinks.
Really?
Let me try it again. Let me talk about the weather for 5 minutes. There it is. 3 for 3, bitches.
All right. Bohan, what's going on, sir? Pete should stay, but not at any price. I agree. And I also agree. I think he'll agree when it's all said and done. Probably should have taken that offer. Those words were put in his mouth by Boris. Which, by the way, Scott Boras just happens to be Keith's favorite baseball agent. All right. So today, obviously, Pete, did his speaking with the bat today, hitting 2 big bombs. What producer Joe said, over 900 feet worth of dongs out there today, hung by Pete. So we, thankfully you win this series, because that first game in Colorado was a big letdown, and now you got pressure on you. Can't lose back-to-back series, full series on the road to the Angels and the Rockies, and then go against the number 1 pitching staff in all of baseball in Seattle. Now they can't score worth the shit. They score less than 4 runs a game, I think it is, but their pitching staff is ridiculous. And that's the reason why they're in the battle for first place in the West. So, we'll get to that preview here in a couple minutes. But one other thing that I wanted to bring up, Mr. Vientos seemed, and another guy who might have gotten off the schneid today, but seemed to have been going through my first long season, big league deal, especially staying as hot as he was for as long as he was. It felt like it was wearing on him a little bit, even in the field. Not that he was making errors, but he was moving more lethargically out there. So the game a day off, manager does wonders, right, Rodriguez?
Hey, listen. Didn't he hurt his foot too?
Didn't he foul something off his foot, right?
So he needed time to just relax. Sometimes you just need to sit on that
sorry.
bench and
Time out real quick. Mm-hmm. What was that ridiculous call? They got a broken net. In Colorado. So the ball goes through the broken net, and we got to give up an extra base. By the way, Mark Vientos, all that was a sign he needed a day off. Goes to pick up the ball with the glove, and it goes into the net. But the shit was broken. How do they call? What do you mean? And
I
then
mean, what
did
are
you
they
hear
gonna
what
call?
they
What are they going to call? They're going to bring him back a base.
no, not bring him back, but just
no,
say
I know they should have ended the play right there. I mean, the ball.
yes.
They're going by the rules strictly. The ball goes in the dugout.
No, what they said was the reason for it was that had the net not been broken, it would have gotten wedged underneath and thus being out of play. How do you know that? Anyway, let's get back to Vientos.
Colorado
Stupid umpires.
It's terrible.
How about the strike 3 call the other night on Iglesias where the ball was in his eyes?
So the home plate umpire
Bobo
in yesterday's game, they did that umpire report card thing Gary was talking about in today's game, and he had 17 incorrect calls.
Okay, I don't know where you saw that, Keith. Oh, Gary talked about it today?
Gary talked about it, yeah.
Okay, because I would love to see the scorecard on today's game because that guy missed so many calls.
Yeah, Keith was brutal towards him, Joe.
It's like he had a strike zone the size of a teacup.
Yeah.
What happened to Manea's great performance the other day? Those are pretty high letter pitches. So a lot of them, some guys were looking like they were in shock at some of those calls. So we get, and we give. So I mean, it happens.
The umpire robot ump? Yes. The umpire from yesterday's game was bad.
Retired then.
78% strike call accuracy. 78%.
Yeah, isn't their target like 95 or something?
It doesn't show what the target for that is, but the target for the average for overall consistency is 94%. Average for overall accuracy, yes, the goal is 90, and the average is 92%.
You know what I learned today? That no matter what background I put up, it cannot make up for the poor lighting that I have in this room.
Ta-da! Nope.
Oh God.
10 out of 46 called strikes were actually balls. And he's just going to continue to have his job. All right, Rodriguez, let's reel this back in. Vientos, I was there. I pulled everybody away. By the way, the Phillies have not played yet today. I'm all over the place. They play in Arizona later. Who are we rooting for?
Oh.
Just let it happen. That's in that scenario. Whoever wins.
No, we want the Phillies to lose. We're chasing the Phillies.
One step at a time. Right now, we're chasing Arizona. After Arizona, we're chasing the Phillies. So right now, we need Arizona to lose.
Can you guys stop going off topic? Rodriguez was trying to talk about Vientos.
I'm not. You're the one who's bringing up everything else. So
it is my fault this time. This is all me this time. Yeah, I did all. I did it. All right, talk about Vientos.
Right. You want me to say something about me?
Please. Here, I'm going to take a drink.
Oh man. The kid's performing like he should be performing. You're right. I mean, he does need a break. It's 162 game season. I mean, he hasn't played that many games, but it is a much longer season than the minor leagues, and he's got to get used to it. I think he's having a pretty good season. 17 home runs. That's not a bad season.
Rodriguez?
Huh?
Doesn't he play winter ball?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not, and he won't be playing it anymore because he's a starter now in the.
He's 24 years old, right? A day off is good, but I don't think it's fatigue. I don't
think. It's not fatigue per se where his body can't really perform. It's a little bit more mental fatigue in a sense where he's just going through the motions after a while, where he needs to just back up and get reacclimated and get sharp again and start focusing a little bit more. Sometimes those young guys will lose. Yeah, they lose their focus.
Emotional damage.
They think that their talent will overtake a smart pitcher, a major league pitcher. Sometimes it does, and most of the time it doesn't. That's why those guys go back to the minors. But I think Vientos is a freaking diamond that we found this year, and I hope he keeps it up, man. Because if he stays strong and we keep Pete, that's a really nice first baseman and third baseman for the next 10 years or so. That's a lot of power there.
We have another
And,
nice young stud
got
who's injured this year, but should be coming up next year, hopefully.
The kid Drew.
No, I was thinking of
Mauricio.
Mauricio, but Drew too. I
Right.
mean,
Mauricio
You got
is gonna
Acuna. Look at that. Look at the revamped minor leagues while still being in playoff contention. Look at our front office.
Did we trade Jet, or we still have Jet?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. They didn't get rid of any of their top.
No, nothing.
Of their
Nothing.
top picks. Everybody was 20 and
A lot
over,
of calls. Yeah, a lot of calls on some of the guys, and I read today that there were at least 10 teams that inquired about Beatty, and the Mets are like, "No, we're good. We have no reason." What's the reason?
To trade. There's no reason to trade him when you got an older guy like JD Drew who might retire in a few years.
He's going to be our left fielder.
JD Drew.
You think Beatty's going to be an outfielder? I don't think he moves well enough to be an outfielder. I think Beatty's next spot, if it happens to be, will probably be DH or first base.
What about second base?
He doesn't. I've never seen him move that fast. He doesn't seem to have the quickness to be a second baseman from what I've seen. But I mean, if his back plays, they have to find a spot for him. Because where are you going to put Mauricio? Where are you going to put Acuna? Where are you going to put Drew? That all these young guys that are supposedly offensive studs coming up. So
what a problem! What a problem!
And we have good pitchers too. We just moved the guy up to AAA.
Yep.
Stroh, is it?
Yeah.
Brandon Stroh or something. He throws like 100, and he's
pronunciations.
He did a bang up job in AA, and now they moved him to AAA and see what he can do there. Maybe he might get it, into the bullpen in December when they call him up. I mean, in September. Sorry.
Yeah, never know.
Speaking of second base, your boy woke up. Your boy the squirrel woke up after the All-Star break, and he's not letting up. I jokingly said he's going to be the second half batting champ, and it feels like something that we weren't going to see this year, and it feels like the old squirrel just lacing it from line to line.
Exactly.
Keith, what did you think you'd see this squirrel this year?
I thought we were going to see him from the start of the year. I thought he kind of learned his lesson, but after the first half, no, I didn't think this version of McNeil was going to come back. I'm grateful it did though, but because when he's slapping the ball here and there and everywhere, he's a lot of fun to watch.
And he plays better.
Yeah,
he's much happier.
With all the bats we have in this lineup, a player like that is ideal. Get on base and get driven in.
And see, that's a good point, Keith, because all those bats that we have, our manager's able to interchange them a lot and have fresh guys actually playing all the time.
Stearns did a good job with the depth, man. I mean, like, who would have thought? Bader. When we signed him, I was like, what the hell are we doing? Mm-hmm. I love him on the team.
I was so
and look at what Mendoza did on Monday. Nimmo had been struggling. Was it Monday? Nimmo had been struggling. Taylor not only started but moved up to the 2 spot, and he responded.
What about the other guy? Is it Gaines? The other guy, the other lefty that we have that we put up from the minors. I forget his name. Yeah. But he came up and he was Gamble. He was smashing the ball.
Yeah, yesterday.
So
so he did it back yesterday. He sure did. It's fresh. And like you guys are saying too, the manager has been handling this lineup really well. I mean, some of the lineups I look and I'm like, what is this guy doing? And now I'm to the point where I'm like, okay, we'll see what happens. 1 through 9,
everybody had a hit today. 1 through 5, everybody had an RBI today.
They're responding really well for him, Mendoza, and it's he's not the one out there hitting, so 98% of that credit goes to the player, of course, but the decisions and how they're placed and when they're playing has been handled really well by the manager. So kudos to him on that.
Bohan mentions Braves in a death spiral, and I was seeing, it was so funny. Braves fans were beating their chest their 4-game winning streak. Now they've lost a couple in a row. The Braves just don't have it this year. I know that they've got the wife beater and whatnot, but the Braves they're not the Braves of
they got some key
previous years.
injuries.
Acuna's out.
Some of the main players are not performing what they expect.
Tough shit. That's been us.
Yeah, no, I don't care. I'm happy.
No, I know you. No, I know you don't. Yeah,
I'm
crying.
like
I don't want to hear anybody crying
every
about
year.
their
It does.
injuries. Yeah. Enough.
Are you crying? Are you crying?
I mean, we're not as bad as the Jets when it comes to injuries and stuff like that. But
you see, producer Joe,
you
he
see
takes a
what
shot at you.
happens?
You
You
see that?
see, now he sits in the penalty
Been a
box.
while.
Now
Been a
he
while
sits
since
in the
Keith
penalty
took a
box.
shout out to producer Joe. I think it was
I know,
last
he's-
week. Producer Joe was off, so Keith got a little bit more comfortable.
Oh, you see, that's how it works. All right.
That's where it goes. All right, let's get into this upcoming series with Seattle.
Mhm.
Coming up, the last stretch of this very, very long road trip here. So, first of all, Seattle is involved. It's the best team that we're going to face on this road trip. They have the number 1 pitching staff in baseball. Then they're just a half game behind the Astros, so they've been involved with it all year long. So, big it's a nice little test on the road for these Metsies. Let's see how. Do we have any of the pitching? Is the pitching lined up? Yeah. Quintana. This is the problem with this view is just this area. Quintana. So we don't even know who this elite pitching staff is throwing at us this week. This is how we're gonna roll.
Don't we beat up on the elite pitchers? Haven't we been
Yes.
playing really well against number 1s, against aces? We've been beating them up.
yeah,
Well,
Why
Yes.
why am I worried about Seattle? It's where we send everybody. Seattle. It's like purgatory. Why do we worry about them until we? I mean, if they
Are there
beat
any
us,
former Mets now?
I mean, there's got to be a former Met over there. There's got to be.
I'm surprised how well the Mariners are playing. I mean, they're playing some real deal baseball, but they also have some really weak teams in that division to beat up on. So you got to take that into consideration.
That's right. You got to gauge them against their competition. A very good point. And if their competition blows, all right, they got a low ERAs because they're playing crap teams.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
But they're playing Oakland, 16, 17 times a year?
No, that's not anymore. Well, what is it down to 13 times? Still
13.
Oakland. But also Julio Rodriguez has been out. And when he was playing, he wasn't playing. So their biggest star wasn't playing well.
There's another offensive guy, a big time offensive guy on their team that's out also. I forget the name, but you're right. Julio is out, and there's some other offensive guy that's been out defending their team. But I hope everybody gets hurt on their team, and we go there and we just sweep them. I could care less. I hope it rains. And some of them drown. I don't care.
Wow. All right.
Not drown dead. Just drown. Just for a minute. They could be
Just
a
like,
minute. They can come back.
How do I back out of that
just a
comment?
smidge. All right, so we truly we kind of don't know who's going for them.
Yeah, no, we have we
have Quintana, Minaya, and Severino.
Severino.
We have our best 3.
Yeah, all three of those are TBD.
All right, so
we should be okay.
I don't know. I mean, listen.
look, they can't. Like I said, they can't score. They're not like 20 games over 500. They're division. Well, not a division leader. They have game out, just 3 games over. So it's not. I'm saying it's just our biggest test on this road trip. Being on the road, good pitching staff, but they can't score.
And to what you just said, I want to say I think David Peterson is starting to nudge his way into trying to make a case for being one of our top pitchers. He's doing. I mean, he needs a little more longevity.
Don't upset Rodriguez.
His 5-inning crap is ridiculous, but he's been doing a good job. He's probably the ace of the team. He could probably be the ace on half of the Major League Baseball teams. He is so amazing. The movement he has on his
Oh my God.
I'm
my
just
God.
talking to Rodriguez.
I
But no,
wanna
he's
see-
been
I wanna
doing.
see Rodriguez start to bleed out of his ears.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna-
mean, we
I'm
should
gonna
just
have-
sign him long
I'm
term
gonna
now.
just have to
Lock
mute
him up.
him. Hold on.
10 years?
10 years at least. No, but
Yeah,
he's been
sign him.
doing a really good job his last several starts.
He actually has been pitching well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And today was a big test
today was a
in
good, today was a
Colorado.
good day.
A little disappointed he couldn't get into the 6th, but all right.
He's reminding me a lot of Clayton Kershaw.
That's what he does, Joe. Don't
These
be
days.
disappointed. That's what he does. If he
Especially
goes past the
especially
fifth,
the amount
you
of
should be
innings he's pitching.
surprised.
Would you or would you not like to see every starter go at least 6?
Of course.
100%, 1,000, a million, a bazillion percent, Joe.
And
You
that's
know
all I said. He pitched
that.
a great game. He had a couple of unfortunate calls go against him. He probably could have gone into the 6th.
Snell
But
pitched a great game.
yeah, directly related back to the ump.
This guy.
I mean, the ump missed the call third strike on I forget who, but the next pitch he gapped the double. He extended the inning another 10 pitches.
Yesterday?
Yeah. Today's ump was terrible. Yeah.
We love great umps.
Yeah,
We don't see many of them.
The
but
umps
we
in
love
this whole
them.
series has been
I
miserable.
know.
Yeah, he's looking good.
I'm looking for the same umpire. Find the umpire that was behind the plate for Sean Manaea, and send him over to Seattle. That way Manaea can throw high fastballs and outside
Manaea.
sliders and still win a game.
Manaea.
Phenomena.
Do, 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 do,
You hear that?
Phenomena.
That he gets frustrated.
do, 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 do.
And he's on the mound.
Phenomena.
Come on.
Do, 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 do.
That's what his brain probably sounds like to him when he's on the mound.
Oh man! All right. So what do you guys got? What do you guys got? I mean, we don't know who they
Sweep.
sweep.
If they're not,
Ooh.
dude, we're not betting against anybody. We're gonna win those games.
All right, Rodriguez.
What are we at? 4-3 on this road
We can
trip,
always
right?
beat TBD.
4-3 on this road trip. And Keith, what did we say last week on the show? We wanted 7 wins, so that must mean we're gonna sweep. It's obvious.
7 wins would really be ideal. I mean, 7-3.
Bury the Braves.
I have a hard time saying we're going to sweep, but I'm.
Do it.
I don't know. I
Grow-
just feel
grow a
like
pair.
I
Grow a pair.
I know it's in Colorado, but the way the Mets were ripping the ball today, specifically Pete, because if Pete heats up and stays heated up for a while, I think it'll resound through the lineup. So
He could hit 10 home runs in the next 7 games. That's all I'm saying. That's the power of our Pete.
I want to stay careful and say 2 out of 3, but I'm going sweep. We're going to sweep.
Ooh, I think peer pressure got to him on this one.
No, I think
Who's
Pete's
pressuring
performance
you,
today
dude?
got to me. I think Pete's performance today and the starting pitching performance over the last couple of rotations is why I'm
All right, Producer
Look at
Joe.
that. See that?
Producer
Good
Joe,
answer.
settle them down a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta go realistic. I mean, we take 2 out of 3 and we'll lose a 2-1 heartbreaker. But we'll take 2 out of 3.
Heartbreaker.
I'll take 2 out of 3, but we're not taking 2 out of 3. We're sweeping Joe's. All right.
I hope
All right,
you're
I'm
right.
going to. I'm going to agree with Producer Joe. 2 out of 3, baby.
Of
Do
course
it.
you are.
Win series, baby.
Nay,
You're telling Keith to grow some balls. You grow some
Now.
balls and say sweep.
Listen, I said so. I grew balls. I said sweep against the Braves. They didn't do it, so I'm not gonna call it.
You got
Huh?
your balls chopped off.
What? I'm being a smart fan. All right. Let's call attention to the next portion of our schedule here. The second half of August. Come home to Citi Field. We can beef up, guys. We do need to beef up our home record. We've done actually well. We're on par with some of the best teams in baseball with our road record. Got to beef up that home record. And just what the doctor ordered, get 3 with the Athletics and 3 with the Marlins. Got to beef up on those 2 teams.
We have.
Got to do it. But both sold off at the deadline. The Marlins don't have any players anymore, so got to do that. Just in time, and I'm getting ahead of ourselves here, for a stretch that's going to be exciting. It's going to give us, a lot of agita. Orioles at Citi Field for 3, 4 in San Diego,
Ooh.
and then 3 with the Diamondbacks.
Do we have a day off
Arizona.
between the Orioles and San Diego?
No, we don't. We have a day off between San Diego and the Diamondbacks. And then the series that I'm most scared about, the end of August, we go to Chicago and play the White Sox.
Trap games.
It's trap games.
You scared of butterflies too?
And this brings me to this, gentlemen. This White Sox team is about to knock down our record of being the worst team ever in the history of baseball.
We got to help them along.
Help them out. I heard some idiotic fan say that they don't want this record to be broken, that they want the Mets to continue to have the worst record ever in baseball, that because it was lovable losers. No. I don't get these Met fans anymore. Take that record out of here. And by the way, this is not an expansion team.
Lose
Stupid
that
White
record
Sox.
just like the Hawk Tour girl wants that video off the internet. Just as bad.
But she doesn't.
I don't think she does.
Did you see her interview with Bill Maher? Bill Maher's a creep. But anyway.
No, I didn't.
Oh, Bill, yeah. Bill, he did that basement thing with her, and it was really creepy. But anyway, it's like he was grooming her or something. It was creepy.
Why does he have to groom a skank? I mean, honestly.
Well, okay, all right.
Anyway, yeah, let's not get into Hawk Tour girl. But really quick, so the Orioles, they've been struggling a little bit, but the Orioles are a powerhouse team. They're great, right? But their pitching has been struggling a little bit, and since our offense is so strong, I definitely
one of their big guns just got hurt. Grayson. No, pitching wise. No, their lineup is
kid Gunner play. I like that kid Gunner. I hope we strike him out every time, but I like that kid Gunner. He's going to be a big time star. But I think because their pitching has been struggling and our offense is what it is, I think we could take 2 out of 3 from them. I'm really worried about San Diego because they are hot. I hope they're
scorching hot
by the time we get there.
Yeah. Hopefully, I mean it's bound to happen, right? Right. But one other thing that I want to say about the Colorado series, look at and it's not just been Colorado. The Mets are getting pretty insane support in many cities that they're going to, and you do get that
dancing in Colorado.
Yes, Grimace is all over Colorado. Hey, he's purple. It matches perfectly. But you're gonna get, Arizona. That crowd. The most amazing Grimace cosplay ever. But in Phoenix.
Producer Joe.
Oh wow! So we got something there. We found his calling. That's what you're saying.
His spirit animal.
His spirit animal. I loved when McDonald's got involved and they were tweeting out about it. But anyway, so we get that support in Arizona all the time. That's almost like a Miami game, second level Citi Field, because it's also another old place that New Yorkers go to retire. But and San Diego's there'll be some Met fans out there too, but they're showing up. But that home stand is big because, like I said, we're up there with some of the bigger, the better teams. Like Philly's only like 4 or 5 games over on the road. They beefed up at home early on. So if we could beef up this schedule a little bit at home, we'll be looking much better.
Yeah, we're gonna need
bury
those.
San
Diego's not in the middle of the Dodgers right now. They're right up the Dodgers. You know what? 2.5 behind them for the first place.
We have to go 30 and 19. We have 49 games left or 48 now.
48 after today.
Okay. All right. So we have to get to 90 games to make sure that we're in those playoffs. We have to win 90 games. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, 90.
Well, average win total for wild card is 86 over the last whatever amount of years. 90 would be so much better because it's important to get the home side of the wild card. So
right.
you want the top top deal
And this team,
no, because
if this
we're gonna
team is
catch the
90.
Phillies. Forget about it.
I mean,
Because we still got
That'd be
7
great.
games in September against the Phillies. That's way ahead of ourselves, but the opportunity is there. That's why you got to beef up on these games here and just hope you're within some sort of striking distance of Philadelphia when you get to those 7 games. Producer Joe was trying to say something before. What you have before?
I don't even remember now. You've been talking too long.
That's fine.
I was just going to say that,
He remembered.
Well, you're getting way ahead of yourself, man. Let's just, take care of the Mariners this weekend. You're talking about a 6-game stretch at the end of August. Like, yeah,
he's being a Mets fan. Let him be a Mets fan for a few minutes.
One series at a time, man. We just did a nice job on the road. Let's take another series, and then, we got a nice soft home schedule. We'll worry about that when we get there.
I think we're playing the Norwegian Shield ladies in December, right?
No, that's in late September.
Oh, late September. Okay.
So we don't talk about the future here. All right. We're talking about the playoffs, but we're talking about Senga coming back at the end of September.
Listen, you clown. It's not like we don't
you
talk
taking a
about
shot at me
the future. You were going
I'm not.
You were going into detail about specific series 3 weeks from now.
We need
So what?
We need to start using filters. Like when Joe calls Farace a clown, we need to put a filter up with the hair and the nose and the.
Lighten up, Francis.
Farace a clown?
I was dancing like one.
I didn't hear that. I guess somebody had a little Freudian slip there.
Speaking of future and playoffs, Senga back in September. I don't know the new rules.
It's the end of September.
I remember back
out.
Huh?
That's more than 3 weeks out. We can't talk about
way
it.
more. But it's also about what the current rules are. Do you remember I think in the 80s and 90s there was a rule where if you acquire a player or a player comes off the injured list within such amount of time before the playoffs, they're not eligible to be on a playoff roster. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, you have to be eligible. You have to be up by a certain amount of time. And
do we know what that is?
I don't know.
I'll look that up. I'm curious because I wonder if Senga comes back before or after that, because that's only like a week away.
To be honest, Senga doesn't even really matter this year. If we're being real, who knows if he can come back?
But I mean, it'll be a fun little side story to watch.
Any player who is on the 40-man roster or 60-day injured list as of August 31st is eligible for the postseason.
Oh, so he's on the end. Oh, wow. Okay. Very cool. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks for bringing
something useful.
We appreciate that.
Oh, you know what? Now you got
Joe's always useful. Right. Listen, Joe is the best producer in the game, and you guys need to shut your mouth.
Yeah. I muted their mics. They could just shut up.
Yeah,
Tell me again how amazing I am.
Let's just talk about you, Joe. If I had to come back to life, and pick a producer again, it would.
Didn't you just say something about a producer, Joe, that got you kicked off before?
Oh, shut up, you!
I feel like producer Joe's power hungry today. We've all been kicked off at some point.
I would never speak ill of producer Joe.
All right, well, let's wrap this bad boy up, fellas. Let's do that. Go round robin. Let's be careful of the rules of the round robin. Can't talk about anything 5 minutes from now or 5 minutes before.
All right.
Somebody's sphincter just got this.
Go ahead and get us started. Go ahead and get us started.
Go ahead.
Keith, what you got?
Tough road trip, where we were so hot. We get on the road and it feels a little weird to be on the road. We're 4-3 so far with some tough games, tough stretches, and a lot of traveling. Stand tall, Met fans. We're doing really well, and we got a couple of games in Seattle that we need to take care of, and I like our chances. Let's go Mets, baby. One more thing. I'm sorry. I would just want to give Flakata to the whole entire city of Seattle for the next 3 days. Other than that,
Thank you. Only for 3 days. He's in a good mood today.
Like,
We're in the hunt for the playoffs, guys. We had a really crappy beginning of the season. We played well. We're one of the best teams in baseball. I'd say a top 5 to 10 team, between 5 and 10 for the last couple of months. So those teams can make a playoff. So we're there, man. Metsies, don't be clowns like Farace. Believe in your team.
top 5. I think they're even well. I don't know if they're still top 3, but they had the best record in baseball for over 2-month stretch.
They did. They
rescued the
but,
season, baby.
I'm trying to be realistic and look at the real overall picture, where just because we win a few games, we're not the greatest, and just because we lose a few games, we're not the worst. So I'm being a little bit more realistic.
We were very bad at the beginning of the year. That was rough.
Probably
Remember, we had flashbacks
the Marlins
to
are
that.
definitely better.
The Marlins are
The
superior,
Marlins are
far
better than us.
superior. Tonight there's
Right,
there's a guy named Woo. Ric Flair must be in town pitching for Seattle.
Hold on. Pause. What's his name again?
Woo!
Thank you. Go ahead.
Sorry, producer Joe.
It's fun.
What do you got?
All season. What a great season. We never saw ourselves in playoff contention. We were writing it off as a transition year. We wanted to be competitive. We're better than that. Our team is gelling. We have depth.
Gelling like Rodriguez's eyelids.
Yeah, no, I know he's gone. Here, let me help him. Let me help him. So he doesn't even know he's off the screen. I'm growing more and more faith in Stearns and Mendoza. The team's playing well. It's a great damn year. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Let's go Mets.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and this is exactly what we talked about at the beginning of the year when we did our preview show about how there was going to be a lot of fun, exciting games down the stretch. We didn't have these guys who were like, Scherzer and Verlander, who, by the way, Verlander, thank you so much for saving us $17 million next year by not getting to your innings total. We appreciate that. There is a way for Verlander to get to the innings total, but he would have to pitch into extra innings in each of his starts for the rest of the season. So we appreciate that. Scherzer's out again. So, the moves that they made last year have proven to be brilliant, and the moves that they made this year have proven to be, made for current and for the future with guys like Brazoban. I know he had a rough outing the other day in Colorado, but he's solid, and he's going to be a solid guy.
He modeled that game.
Though, yeah, that was leftover bullshit from the Marlins. All right, that does it for us for tonight. Starting tomorrow, we got Seattle for 3, and then we got that homestand. Don't want to go too far into the future. I might get kicked off here. All right, let's get up on out of here. We'll keep you updated on all that is going on with the New York Metropolitans in our Facebook group, and screw you, Twitter and X, or whatever we want to be called now. Want to make us pay to get our content out there. Screw you. We actually went simulcast tonight on Put in the Book Show and Pop Culture Pros. So, Mr. Producer Joe, sir, get us on up out of here.
Deuces.
Put it in the book.